Hi world, welcome to my channel. My name is Lily. I am a student nurse. I'm in an 18-month Bachelor of Science in Nursing program, and I would say that I am in my senior semester, or my last semester of nursing school. I have less than 100 days left, and I thought this would be a good time to make a video about things as nursing students we should be thinking about in our last semester. So most of what I'm talking about today is going to be centered around NCLEX because that is the next step after graduation. There might be more things that I add on as I go through the rest of my program, but right now these are some things that I figured were really good things to start thinking about. The biggest thing that I have done so far in my senior semester is I am preparing to take the NCLEX. There are multiple steps that you have to take in order to take the NCLEX. And the NCLEX, if you don't know, which you should by now, is the National Council Licensure Examination. And it's an exam that you have to take in order to get your license to practice your nursing job. So you need this to work. Even if you get your degree, it's not going to mean anything if you don't have the license to work. In order to take the NCLEX, you have to do a few things. So you have to make an account for the state board of where you want to practice under. So for example, I go to school in Nevada. I applied under the Nevada State Board so that I can have my licensure in Nevada. But if you were going to do it in California, which is also what I'm planning to do, I would make an account under the California State Board, and then, it differs to whichever state you're planning to work in. And then you also have to make an account with Pearson, which is where the NCLEX test is. I think it's the company that kind of runs the NCLEX test, I believe. A big thing you've really got to worry about is this actually costs like a lot of money to do, and I don't know. I mean, my program, they never really said anything to me. This is what I've learned from my mentors. It's gonna differ depending on what state you're in. I had to pay $100 to register for my state board here, and I know it's different depending on where you are applying for licensure, but mine was $100 for here. I put a link in my description box where I found the different fees for each state. The actual NCLEX test is $200. That's already $300 for me. Plus you have to get fingerprinting done, and I believe your fingerprints are good for 6 months. So really plan all of this in accordance to when you are planning to take your NCLEX. I'm trying to take my NCLEX as soon as I can after I graduate, maybe give or take a few weeks or a month. But I don't want to do anything more than 2 months out, and I know it's harder depending on which state you're in. I know California is very impacted, so it's a lot more difficult to get a fast test date there, but for Nevada, it's fairly quick, and I don't really know how COVID is going to affect that, but if you're not going to be able to get your NCLEX test in within 6 months, I would not start applying like too early. But since I graduate in about 3 months, and I just did my fingerprints recently, then it's a pretty good time. I have about 3-month grace period before I have to redo my fingerprints. Depending on where you go, fingerprints can cost anywhere from $65 to $100. I paid $65 for mine. You also have to worry about paying for your school transcripts because your school has to send official transcripts to the board in order for them to approve your NCLEX exam. So let me summarize real quick. Sign up for an account under the state board, and then sign up to take the NCLEX exam and get your fingerprinting done, and then request transcripts from your school. My school, they allow us to, I could pay for my transcripts now, and it was like a $5 fee to pay for my transcripts, and they'll send it after I graduate. Once I get my degree, then they'll send my transcript over to the board so that they can approve my NCLEX exam. This is me on my Nevada State Board of Nursing portal. You can already see I have submitted one application, but I have not. It's still processing because I haven't done everything yet. This is just to show you. They have like a checklist of what you have to do. So here you have to successfully pass NCLEX. I already submitted my background check or my fingerprinting stuff. It just has to get, they just have to receive it from the FBI. And then transcripts, they're waiting on my school transcripts, and you can already see that I've already paid Pearson. So that's one example of something. And then another thing, here is also right here, registration. So you have to submit an application for licensure, and then you have to meet all of the requirements. So that goes back to all of this stuff right here, and then you register and pay $200 right there, and then you receive your eligibility from the Nursing Regulatory Board. So yeah, that's just some stuff you have to do. I'm gonna be popping in like this because I forgot to say some things at the time that I was recording, but that already, just the whole application for NCLEX process, getting ready to take the test, $400, almost $400. Yes. The next thing I wanted to talk about was you should probably start thinking about studying for NCLEX if you haven't already, and figuring out which resources you want to use to study for NCLEX. Since I'm in my final semester, I'm actually planning to start studying. I'm studying a little bit now. We've already started our ATI capstone review, which is the program that my school's using as ATI, and I am planning to do review videos on my ATI stuff, so look forward to that. So I'm going to be taking December, January, and then February, and hopefully take my test in March. That is what I'm aiming for, to take it around March, and hopefully I like to take it once. So start thinking about what resources you want to use, because a lot of these resources might cost you a lot of money as well. That's the big thing, is the end of school. You've already got so many loans to pay off from nursing school, and then now you have NCLEX studying resources and NCLEX to worry about that you have to pay for too. So start figuring out what resources you want to use. I know very popular ones are the Saunders book, the Saunders review book, and UWorld. I know those are the two most popular resources. Those are what I'm planning to use to study. That plus my ATI, even though I know ATI is a little different, but I'm hoping that some of that fundamental knowledge that I review in ATI will be useful with my NCLEX review as well. If you have not started your final semester yet, and this is just a video you're looking for, you're looking at ahead of time, I would start, I would save up money for these resources if you don't already have it ready for you, because these resources are pretty expensive. I think the Saunders book is somewhere from like $50 to $70, and then UWorld, depending on how early you start, the 60-day access to UWorld is like $150, and then the 90-day is $200, and then so on and so on. I'd also start to try to figure out what departments or units you're planning to apply to, and then also the places that you want to apply to. Maybe even just start looking at nursing interview questions, especially if it's like unit specialized, because I know a lot of acute care units, they'll ask you very situational based questions, like in the case of like a patient comes in with, say, like chest pain, like what are you gonna do immediately, kind of. So it's kind of just like review like that. So just I would start thinking of answers to questions, and maybe even coming up with anecdotes or examples from your own clinical experience or personal experience that you have. I think those would be helpful in the long run, because then you're not like panicking and stressing over it when it comes to time to apply. I would even start asking professors or clinical instructors for your letters of recommendation, maybe even like preceptors that you've had or nurses that you've shadowed. So I cut away a lot. I didn't end it very well. So that was it. Those are all the tips that I have for things that you should be thinking about in your final semester of nursing school. Obviously, I probably didn't say everything that I needed to say, but and there could be more things you could do or less things that you could do. If you have a better way of going about it, go for it. These are just my tips from what I've heard from my mentors, and yeah, that's it for this video. I hope this video was helpful, and if I get any information wrong, I am so sorry about that. I'm still experiencing this as I go. Please wish me luck for the rest of nursing school and my exit exam and my NCLEX. And yeah, I hope that this helps and we all just get a step closer to becoming the nurses that we want to be. And also, BTS just came out with a new album, so stream B, that's their new album, and watch their music video. And if you want, you can leave a comment and tell me what your favorite song was, and we can get excited over it together, because I love BTS and they are what helped me to get through nursing school. I make videos about my nursing school experience. They're just like random little vlogs put together, and then I'm also planning on making videos about my ATI comprehensive review that we have to do for school, and then also other sorts of nursing content. That's the nursing side of my page. I also am trying to branch out more on the other avenues I have on my channel. Yeah, thanks for watching.